Hey, Manib, I'm going to give you a little bit of feedback on a few of these, not all of them, but just so you kind of see where my head's at. This first one, excuse me, 18th place. Yep, I thought you were spot on at the ARV. You're doing exactly what we talked about. I would definitely use this comp. It looks pretty fixed up. It's a little smaller. So if you wanted to push it a little bit above, I wouldn't fault you on that. So if you wanted to go um, 410, that I wouldn't, um, I would say that's fine just because this one's a little bit smaller. We're at 400. Ours is at 1600. Um, the next thing I just wanted to point out what I did. So we're going to be playing a lot with these numbers now. This is going to be part of what I'm going to go through with you. So this percent off is what we're really going to start playing with based on condition of the current condition of the property. So and this might be a little tricky for you because you haven't been in these fix and flip projects before, but you really can get an eye for it pretty quick, and you probably already do. You're a smart guy. I think you can figure this out pretty quick. So this 18th place, let's pull it up. So what did I do here? Listing. So this one is a basic carpet and paint job. So we would just go in and probably paint, new carpet, new flooring, a little bit of kitchen. So not an extensive rehab, just your basic updating. So if that's the case, investors really like these. Um, so we can probably get pretty aggressive on this. So I bumped this down to 0.18 to give us a purchase price of 311. I don't see somebody spending 340 on this to try to make 410, 420 because you're going to have to put 50,000 into it. But we're going to find out. So this is one that I'm going to stay on top of and see how the market's reacting to these. So I'm going to take a look at a couple more and give you a little more feedback so you can start to play with these numbers a little bit. It looks like you're really getting dialed into this ARV with this kind of fast changing market. And but here, let me take a look at a couple more. All right, so here's the next one is this Corning place. Um, yeah, this Corning place. Anyways, you put in a ARV of 425. I think that's pretty darn spot on based on what we're doing. I went to that 90 days single family. Here's my square footage range. And the results we got is the highest sold is this 417. We've got a pending at 418. And both of these high solds aren't especially, I mean, this one's pretty clean, but it's probably a 10-year-old remodel, but pretty clean inside. And then this pending, which we have to assume is going to be above that. Of course it will be. Look at that. It's a fresh remodel. So our high sold um, by the time you know this gets remodeled, this is going to be a sold, right? And this is probably going to be at least 425. So to wrap this one up, I like your forward thinking. This is probably something that I really haven't thought about, but that might be the way that we want to go about this market is be a little bit more forward thinking um, because the market's going up and we know these pendings are going up. So I like the way that you're going with this, being aggressive on price. Of course, we don't want to be insane. We can't go 600,000 in a 400,000 neighborhood, right? But you're spot on with how these things are creeping up, and that might warrant me to do a little bit more research to see month over month how much these are going up and calculate those into our numbers. So that's really pretty darn smart of you. So I like your thinking. Anyways, I can't say enough about that one. So to look at this property, now I'm guessing this is going to go to a retail buyer, but we're still going to pull these for a little bit until we get a really good feel for the market. If the retail buyers are buying these and we have no shot at them, then we'll probably start to get rid of these and just focus on like the one we just did a minute ago, the one at I think it was the 18th place that was pretty beat up, right? But for now, let's take a look, and I'll be following up with these realtors and finding out what's going on. My guess is this is probably going to get bidded up to over 400,000. So we're probably not going to be able to touch this too much, but we're going to see. So, but what I do want to point out on this is on our end. So let me highlight this just so it's easier to pay attention to. So we looked inside. It's in pretty nice condition, so we can get really aggressive with our purchase price by bringing this number down and bringing up our purchase price. It gets us quite a bit closer to, it gets us a little bit closer to this, but it's probably going to go in that range, but we're going to see. So, but that's how I want you to kind of play with those numbers, because you can see the condition inside is really pretty darn nice. Like, what would we do to this property to get it at 425? And maybe some flooring in the kitchen, update the kitchen a little bit. Not a lot of money that we'd throw at this. It has new windows. The inside is really pretty nice. Just clean it out, maybe some carpet, maybe update the bathroom a little bit, but not a ton of work is what I'm getting at. So we can get pretty darn aggressive with our price. Somebody that would buy this would probably put, 25,000 into it and then try to sell it for 425. So, we could even maybe go, a little bit more and just see, and let's go there. So you see where I'm playing with these numbers to get dialed more in, but we can't offer this because I have to put 25,000 in and try to shoot for 425. Maybe 435. I don't know if there's enough profit there, but we're going to find out. So I'm going to move on to a couple more and then wrap this up. This next one, you had labeled on here busy street. Highlight this so it's easier to follow. We are at this point are going to chase properties on busy streets. However, this one, I like that you didn't really go after this one just because it's on a busy street and it's pretty nice inside. So this is probably going to go to a retail buyer. Being on a busy street and being pretty clean and nice inside, that's fine if you don't want to go after these. I don't think we're going to have a great shot at getting them. But if it's pretty beat up inside and it's on a busy street, let's go ahead and chase them. So that's all I got to say about busy streets. So, but I'll leave this one off for now because I like what you did. It's pretty nice inside. So yeah, busy street, kind of nice. Yeah, let's move on. All right, so this next one is this 86th place. So you came up with an ARV of 430, which I totally see where you got that one from. It's right. So you're somewhere in here. You're looking at this one, I think. And so you went a little bit above that because this one is pretty fixed up inside. It's a fresh remodel, and it sold in February. I'm taking a good look at this this pending at 460, which also very similar size. This is a fresh remodel, and being that it was on the market for 4 days, I'm guessing that it was probably above 460. So I would probably lean towards using 450 or probably 460 really, because there's just 450 here or 448. Doesn't show any pictures of the inside, so it must not be that nice inside. But it had a 2-car garage and had some other stuff. So I'm leaning more towards this 460, and I don't know if it had a garage or not. But parking off street, no. So this is the one that I would be leaning more towards as our top end comp. So maybe coming in at 460. I mean, it is. It really is. We're looking at the highest solds. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing. So if we've got a pending that's higher, let's pay attention to it. If we got a sold that's higher, let's pay attention to it. Not saying we'll always go with that, but more times than not, we probably will be. And I would probably come in at 0.2. This one's pretty beat up. So just looking, shoot. So looking at this one, it's, new kitchen, new flooring. It's not terrible inside. Um, it has newer windows. I think those are, no, that might be aluminum. That might be vinyl. But shower's pretty nasty. So backyard needs work, you know. So, 0.2 would probably be fine. So anyways, a little feedback on that one. All right, so this next one is the Sedalia Circle. So it's right here. They wanted 405 for it. I think you had listed on here asking is over higher. So I see the comp that you use. It looks like you used, so you comped it at 389. And I can see this pending that you used for that. I'm paying attention more towards this sold because it's the higher. So really, this is getting quite simple for us as we work through this together because we really are focusing more on the highest solds or highest pendings in the area and seeing if they make sense for a comp. So let's dive into this high sold. So it's a very similar house, very similar square footage. So it's very similar to our house, just to kind of compare the two. I mean, they're both these tri-level. This one's ugly and green. Um, and this one is very similar. It's a little bit bigger, maybe like 100 square foot of ours, not even like looks like 30 square foot or less. And this one's a fresh remodel. No, this one's not a fresh remodel. So this one is, been updated by homeowners over the years, but it looks pretty good, right? So it's not terrible. They listed at 375. It sold at 416. So I would definitely be looking at that comp the strongest over this pending because this pending here, and I don't know if you used something else in here. Maybe you did, but this pending here at 389 that looks like you used is probably well over that mark. It's pretty fresh inside. So it's probably well over that, just like this sold here. So I would go with this 416, and then let's talk through the condition real fast. So it's not terrible inside. So we can get pretty aggressive on this price, and it's smaller square footage, meaning that the rehabber doesn't have a lot more money to spend on it. So that will probably go to a retail buyer, but we're going to get aggressive on this like we are on all these. So we're going to get our ARV up to 420, right? Isn't that what we figured out? Yeah, I would say 420, or you can do 416, either way. And then I would probably be at 0.8 because it's pretty nice inside, doesn't need a lot of work. That gets us somewhere around here. We probably don't have a shot in hell on that, um, but we'll give that a shot and see what we got. So moving on to the next.